Hello, I'm Kevin Church, and this month for October 2022, we have Cole Davis as our MUFIC Songwriter of the Month. Hey, Cole.
Hey there, Kevin.
Good to have you on, man.
Hey, man. Thank you.
So, we always ask everybody first, do they come from a musical family? Like, what are their influences?
My dad plays guitar a little bit, played a lot more when I was growing up, and kind of through osmosis. I kind of learned guitar through him and played with him growing up a little bit, and kind of had a love of music kind of because of him. But besides that, and my great grandmothers both played piano and sang in church and that sort of thing. But besides that, not a really kind of musical family, I would say. Just kind of those three characters were pretty musical. But my mother's side, not really anything, but just mainly just them on my dad's.
I gotcha. So what was your first instrument?
It was guitar.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah. That was my first one. I don't think I ever did any kind of piano lesson or anything like that. It was always just, I think by virtue of my dad playing.
Right.
That was kind of just naturally what I fell into because that's just what we had, right? So.
Okay, man. So how old were you when you picked up the guitar?
I must have been around 8 or 9, I think, maybe even a little bit younger. It was some of my earliest memories of kind of being a kid, kind of guitar is there as well. So I really can't point to a specific year, but I was around that age. So.
Wow, that's awesome. So like that early, you were already exposed to the guitar and playing it a little bit. Yeah. Were you taking lessons or anything?
I did take lessons for a few years. Kind of, my heart really wasn't in it. Like I mentioned kind of before, it was almost, I treated it like a lot of kids treat piano lessons. It was kind of something that I just did just because that's kind of what you did as a kid. You were taking music lessons, and I just got to play guitar instead of piano.
Right.
So it was a couple years on and off, not too seriously. So yes.
But you really got into it. So what caused that in you? What struck? What was your aha?
There was one summer I can point to the exact summer when it was and where I was. I was in Panama City Beach, Florida, and those old kind of late at night, those infomercials that'll play like Time Life, commercials for different artists and music and DVDs for songs and stuff. There was one that was running on the best of the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, okay.
And I stayed up all night rewatching that one Time Life Ed Sullivan's Beatles infomercial, and that flipped a switch, and I became extremely passionate about kind of music and and guitar, and wanted to play so much more and learn so much more from that single instance of listening to the Beatles for the first time, which sounds hokey and cliche and done before. Trust me, I know, but that's exactly what happened.
It inspired some of the best people we've ever seen perform, man.
That's true.
So yeah, it's not a far reach for you to be excited about it too.
Right.
That's really cool, man. So at that point in your guitar stage, you knew some chords, I imagine.
Yeah.
Did you know anything by the Beatles? Like, could you pick out things from your lessons yet, or?
I mean, I kind of knew how chords worked together. I was familiar with some bar chords, a little bit with keys, but it really wasn't until I started taking guitar a lot more seriously after that, from learning to want to be the Beatles pretty much, was when the knowledge started filling in for me, because that's when I started taking, like I said, it a lot more seriously, a lot more regularly and structured, and kind of all the information that I brought in after that was kind of, most of it was brought in after the fact.
Right,
before.
Right. I got you.
So,
well, you got excited. You're like a sponge now.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, right.
So as you were a sponge, you started, you're a good lead player too, so you had to have been practicing that too. Like, what got you into that?
It was really a love of the blues, which is what got me into that. An old guy who is a kind of a blues player, I started taking lessons with him and playing with him, and he played in a band for many years, and he was a blues player, and he got me into Clapton and kind of the old guys from B.B. King, Freddie King, and like Howlin' Wolf, Leadbelly, all this old, kind of roots blues music. He got me into just through learning, just minor pentatonic scales and stuff like that.
Right.
And, Unbeknownst to me, my kind of love of music and my kind of style pivoted from just being obsessed with the Beatles to really getting into blues music and roots music and kind of Americana stuff.
Right.
And I started really taking lead guitar a lot more seriously, to where that was my forte. Still is really today. I'm a blues guitar player. That's like my thing. The songwriting thing and the singing came afterwards, and it was really him teaching me kind of blues music and being inspired by that, because we talked about before, I'm a history guy, and wanting to go back to kind of the ingredients in the music stew, right?
Right.
Which got me into really learning more and kind of sharpening my chops and playing a lot more, and I think really improving when it came to how I played guitar, and just and really listening to people, listening to music every day, like people that I love to hear play, like Eric Clapton and the Allman Brothers, Derek and the Dominoes,
Yeah.
all these guys, and kind of just hearing things, and how can I make sounds, how can I make my guitar sound like that, and what is it that I have to do, what kind of stream of notes and scales do I need to do, like do I need to play to sound like this, and that's kind of what really kind of lit the fire and got me going in terms of like lead guitar and blues music and that sort of thing. So yeah,
that's really cool. So as you listen to all that stuff, you're just a sponge. You've taken all this stuff in from the Beatles. You're taking in all this blues music. You're taking in all these things. And are you taking in the stories too in the songs? Like as you're developing into the songwriter, did this stuff? Did you start analyzing lyrics too, and like listening to those too as well?
That really started to come in when I started taking folk music and old, like the high and lonesome country music stuff a lot more seriously. When I started getting into kind of, it was funny, like, went back to like the common roots music ancestor came from blues, to here, then back down to like the country side of things.
Right.
That's when it started taking a lyrical turn for me, when I started paying attention to kind of like the old great songwriters of like the early country music days and the early folk music days. Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, all this kind of stuff. That's when it started really becoming a lot more. I started becoming a lot more aware of stories and songs, and country music has like always been there for me, but I started taking it a lot more seriously, after I was going through these phases of rock and blues and that sort of thing. But it was really taking the country music, seriously for what it is. These story songs that really got me focused on, how can I write a song like that, or how can I tell a story like this that's so witty and clever and just like kind of pleasant to listen to. You know what I mean? Just kind of the lyrics in themselves can be pleasant because they're poems. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't have to have the music at the end of the day, but the marriage of the music and the lyrics is what makes the song. So it was that part of leaning into the folky country stuff. So yeah.
So with that, you've been writing a bit. You have a partner that you play with, and we've had him on the show.
That's right.
Mike's been on the show. So you guys write a little bit together too, a little bit on when you said separate a little bit, maybe.
We go about that in an interesting way. Despite being extremely friendly with each other and we work very well with each other, we're very personal people as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to write our own stuff independently of each other. And then if we, have an idea and think we want some input on, we'll go to one another and say, hey, what do you think about this? And give me your 2 cents on this. And we'll take what the other person says back to the drawing board. Instead of just coming together and writing in a room, sitting next to each other, which we haven't done yet. Like I said beforehand, we might need to try that. Something interesting might come out of that. But
Never know.
It's mainly been independently writing and then bouncing stuff back and forth off of each other. The next time we see each other, something like that, a gig or at an open mic night or something like that, in the back room before we get up, something like that.
Right on. That's cool. So, do you think that when you're writing songs nowadays, you focus on melody, lyric, or riff? What gets the ball rolling for you?
You know, I think mostly, I'd say 70-30. 70% of the time I hear the melody first, and I have a sound that I want to go for, and then the words come afterwards. And about the 30% of the time, there's like a quip or like a quick little a verse that I hear, oh, that would sound really good in a song, and I build it that way. So most of the time I'm very melody heavy when it comes to putting, you know, songs down on paper. But and I find there are two types of songs for me when I start writing. It's the ones that you finish in like 10 minutes, then the ones that you keep coming back to after weeks and months. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And the 10-minute ones are a lot more fun. And they seem like they're a lot better too at the end of the day too. The ones that just come out like that. And done.
Oh yeah.
You know, and usually those are all melody focused first, I think. Then the lyrics just come after that, and I just fill it in as I go. And what would rhyme? What would rhyme with this? You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So.
Well, we're looking forward to playing with you, man.
Yeah.
We have Karen Egan here today, and you know, I'm going to play whatever you want, bass or guitar, on this next song. Tell us about the song you're going to play for us.
Yeah, so it's called "Help Me Hold On." It's a song I kind of wrote to myself when I was going through a big, you know, change in my life. I just broken up with my girlfriend. I, you know, quit a job that I didn't really love. I was moving to a new city. My family's originally from this area, but this is my first time actually living in the city itself. And a lot of changes were going on, and I I was in a place where I didn't really know what the future kind of held for me, but I knew what I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I had kind of, you know, a vision for myself of wanting to, you know, go out there and make something of myself. And I just didn't know what that was yet. So I kind of wrote a song to my past self, current self, and future self. And just kind of came from that milieu, you know? So it was a mix of autobiography with just thoughts that just were coming, you know, through my head that I was kind of just telling myself, you know? So...
Man,
that's very cryptic, but it's the truth.
That's awesome, man. Though it's good to be honest. I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks for being honest with us about it. And we're looking forward to, like I said, Karen's here. We're going to jam out on it, man. It'll be a good time.
Good deal.
So thanks for coming on and talking with us. I think we got a lot more background on you.
Yeah.
People that are watching now know a little bit more about Cole Davis.
Cool. Hey, man.
Good to
Thank
see
you,
man. Cole Davis, everybody.
Sweet Matty wine, lone pine in a duck pond, it seems, to remind me of me since the years gone by. There's many a time I thought of you, now it's true. Dreaming a bit too, but you just slip away. And you know it is hard, boy. You gotta go on your own. If you give it a try, boy, I bet you'll get things to show. That living your life, it takes good and bad, you'll find. And all of the strife can give you hope to hold on. And just like they say, the darkest nights before the dawn. on. So help me hold on. Help me hold on. Oh, help me hold on. Help me hold on. Oh, help me hold on. Help me hold on. No, help me hold on. Help me hold on. Sweet Matty wine, lone pine in a duck pond, it seems, to remind me of me since the years gone by. There's many a time I've thought of you, now it's true. Dreaming a bit too, but you just slip away. And you know it is hard, boy. You gotta go on your own. If you give it a try, boy, I bet you get things to show. That living your life takes good and bad, you find. And all of the strife can give you hope to hold on. And just like they say, the darkest nights before the dawn. So help me hold on. And help me hold on. Oh, help me hold on. Help me hold on. Oh, help me hold on. Help me hold on.
MUFIC sets you free.